I am the girl who arrived at Evangelische Hochschule, Dresden, with a single suitcase the color of over-steeped chamomile, and a heart that still believed maps could be trusted. I whisper to you now through the cracked porcelain of my diary, because I need you to feel the exact weight of the fog that settled inside my lungs the moment the welcome banner curled like a dead leaf in the rain. Do you remember the first time someone promised you a home and then locked the door from the inside? That is what the administration did, only they used bureaucracy instead of brass keys. Picture this. I stand in the international office queue at 9 o'clock sharp, the floor tiles breathing up the scent of stale mop water and existential dread. The secretary, Frau something or other, keeps tapping her acrylic nails against a plastic sign that reads "We care" in Comic Sans. Each tap is a Morse code for go away. I wait 47 minutes. I count them aloud because numbers are safer than hope. When I finally reach the desk, she slides a form across that might once have been white, but now looks like the color of teeth after coffee and cigarettes. She tells me fill this and come back next week without looking up, her pupils scrolling through a phone screen brighter than my future. This is bad because it teaches me that my urgency is worthless, that my foreign passport is a disposable bookmark in their story. The practical consequence: I miss the registration deadline, which means I lose health insurance for a month, which means I cannot buy my asthma inhaler, which means I spend 3 nights sitting upright in my dorm bed wheezing like a broken accordion. Do you see the chain? One shrug creates a domino row of suffocation. The dorm room itself is a shoebox someone forgot to punch air holes into. The wallpaper peels in strips the exact shade of overcooked salmon. There is one window, but it opens onto a brick wall tattooed with mildew that looks like a map of all the places I will never visit. The mattress dips in the middle like a sarcastic smile. When I lie down, it folds my spine into a question mark that asks, why did you come here? The radiator clanks at 2 in the morning with the rhythm of a dying robot, releasing smells of rust and boiled cabbage. I wrap my grandmother's shawl around my shoulders and remember her voice telling me education is a lantern. Here the lantern is filled with sewer water. Orientation day. We are herded into a lecture hall that smells of instant coffee and wet dog. The professor strides in wearing a tweed jacket patched at the elbows, with leather as cracked as his enthusiasm. He clicks a PowerPoint slide titled Christian Values in Social Work. I am studying nursing, not theology, but the slide shows a crucifix superimposed over a stethoscope. He speaks for 93 minutes about original sin and how it relates to patient compliance. I raise my hand and ask where we practice injections. He smiles the way a shark might smile if sharks majored in passive aggression and says, first, you must understand that the body is a temple of shame. This is bad because I need tactile knowledge, veins beneath rubber skin, the resistance of a needle sliding into subcutaneous tissue. Instead, I receive guilt wrapped in Latin. The cascade. When I finally stand beside a real patient, my hands tremble, so hard the supervising nurse snatches the syringe away and writes lacks confidence on my evaluation. Confidence was amputated the day they replaced skills with sermons. The library. Oh, gentle listener, let us mourn the library. Imagine a mausoleum where books come to die. Half the shelves are empty, the remaining volumes published before the Berlin Wall felt lonely. I need a current article on pediatric asthma management. The newest journal is from 2005. I ask the librarian, a thin man who smells of camphor and unfulfilled dreams, whether we can order interlibrary loan. He laughs, a sound like a mouse being stepped on,
and says, budget, my child, budget. Then he shuffles away to alphabetize silence. This is bad because evidence-based medicine moves faster than fruit flies, and basing care on 15-year-old data is like using a map of the Austro-Hungarian Empire to navigate modern Europe. The emotional fallout. I sit at a splintered table feeling my brain cells file resignation letters one by one. Nostalgia creeps in, not for the past I lived, but for the future I was promised and now will never reach. Grading. I submit my first care plan assignment, 40 pages of midnight oil and night 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 oil and. Ladies and gentlemen, as we embark on a journey through the bustling streets surrounding the Evangelische Hochschule Dresden, one might expect a harmonious blend of commerce and culture to complement the academic ambience. However, the reality presents a tapestry woven with threads of discontent, a cautionary tale for the unassuming traveler. Imagine, if you will, a shopping experience akin to navigating a labyrinth constructed from the very essence of customer frustration. At Altmarkt Gallery Dresden, the promise of retail therapy quickly dissipates into thin air, much like the availability of functional restrooms. Picture this: a grand shopping mall, a beacon of commerce, yet its restroom facilities are as elusive as a mirage in the desert, leaving patrons in a state of discomfort and disbelief. Paid toilets and non-functional power sockets serve as gatekeepers to modern inconvenience, a stark contrast to the luxurious expectations set by the mall's facade. Now, let us drift from the commercial corridors to the serene promise of relaxation at traditional Thai massage Dresden. Alas, the tranquility is but a facade, as the unpredictability of appointment scheduling leaves visitors more tense than when they arrived. The delicate dance of reservations and cancellations plays out like a tragicomedy, where the lead role is consistently absent, leaving the supporting cast, the would-be patrons, in a state of bewildered anticipation. In the realm of culinary delights, one might hunger for the warmth of a bowl of authentic ramen at Yume Ramen Bar Dresden. Yet, the flavors that greet the palate tell a tale of disappointment, where the essence of traditional recipes is lost in translation. The ramen, rather than being a symphony of taste and texture, resembles a haphazard rehearsal of a cover band, trying desperately to mimic the classics, but falling short in every note. The service, while friendly, is as perplexing as finding a polar bear in the tropics, leaving one to ponder the authenticity of both the food and the experience. As we stroll further, we encounter Oswald's, a cafe that beckons with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Yet, beneath the veneer of hip sophistication lies a service that is as unpredictable as a game of roulette. The staff, perhaps preoccupied with their own affairs, treat patrons with a level of indifference that could make even the most stoic of souls question their worth. The coffee may be strong and the cake generously offered as compensation for their oversights, but the lingering aftertaste is one of neglect, not caffeine. Our journey takes a turn for the peculiar as we step into the twist bar, where the art of mixology is overshadowed by the spectacle of service that seems to have forgotten its patrons altogether. The drinks, while boasting creativity, come with a price tag that would make even the most seasoned urbanite do a double take. The ambience may promise sophistication, but the reality is a cocktail of confusion and overpriced concoctions that leave a bitter taste, much like the saga of a caipirinha that resembles nothing more than a glass of disappointment. And then there's Loop, a shop where the allure of unique treasures is marred by an inflexibility that rivals the rigidity of a statue. The once loyal patronage is left questioning the sanctity of the holiday spirit as the returns policy crumbles like a stale cookie, leaving a trail of disenchantment in its wake. Finally, we arrive at Primetime Fitness Victualienmarkt, a temple of physical prowess, where the quest for wellness is overshadowed by the machinations of administrative chaos. Here, the contracts are as convoluted as a Shakespearean play, with hidden clauses that materialize like ghosts, haunting the unsuspecting fitness enthusiast with fees that multiply like rabbits in spring. In this whirlwind of commercial endeavors near the Evangelische Hochschule Dresden, one is left to wonder, is there a silver lining?
Perhaps it lies in the wisdom gained from these experiences, a reminder to tread carefully and to always read the fine print. For the discerning traveler, forewarned is forearmed, and the tales of these establishments serve as a beacon.
Businesses near Evangelische Hochschule Dresden, they are like normal places, but sometimes bad things happen there, like scams or scary situations. I was looking into crimes around here because, tourists come for short visits, and I want them to be careful. So there was this one time in a supermarket near Evangelische Hochschule Dresden, a man walked in with a kitchen knife. Can you believe that? He just went straight to the cashier and demanded money. Like, how scary is that? The poor workers and customers must have been so shocked. Police came and arrested him, but still, who does that in the middle of the day? I bet the people there were shaking after that. Maybe some tourists saw it too, you know. And now they think Dresden is full of crazy people. But it is not, just sometimes things happen. I wonder what happened to that man. Probably he got in big trouble because you cannot just walk into a store with a knife and expect nothing to happen. And the workers, they must have been so upset. Maybe they even quit their jobs after that. I would not blame them. Another thing about businesses here, you know, is that sometimes tourists get tricked. Not in this exact story, but in general, you have to be careful with your money. Like, if someone tries to sell you something too cheap, it is probably fake. Or if a stranger asks for help with money, it is a scam. Tourists should just ignore it and walk away. I feel sad thinking about these things because Evangelische Hochschule Dresden is a nice place, but bad people ruin it sometimes. I hope tourists who come here for 2 weeks do not have to see anything like that. But if they do, they should just stay calm.